Mentioned moments ago the breaking news out of Pike County, Ohio. Let's take a live picture right now. I believe we have a camera set up there. This is about 80 miles east of Cincinnati to give you a little perspective here on that map. Earlier today, 8 people found dead. 4 different locations. This picture you're looking at is they're set up for a news conference, and shortly we're going to go to it with the latest information. This is a mass shooting that happened earlier today. It's not an active shooter situation, but we are told, we get reports from the scene from our team there in Pike County, Ohio, that these are execution style shootings.
Yeah, really unthinkable here. And I know a lot of you out there, you've been hearing about this. You've seen it on our WLWT website all afternoon. We've been trying to update you. There are still a lot of questions as to how this happened today. So we're waiting on this news conference. What we know so far is Ohio's Attorney General Mike DeWine, as well as the Pike County Sheriff Charles Reeder, are going to be holding a news conference here. All of these victims are believed to be members of the same family. They were found in a number of homes along Union Hill Road in Piketon. That's right off of State Route 32. The Attorney General also saying earlier today there were 2 teenagers involved in this mass shooting today, and there were also children that were found, very young children who were not hurt. We're told they were taken to a local hospital. Their conditions unknown, but believe that they were not hurt. But of course, a lot of unanswered questions as to how this unfolded and who is responsible for this.
And obviously this is a rural area there off of Route 32. This is a tragedy no matter where it happens, but when you're in a small town like this where everybody knows everybody, this is really something that maybe is a layer or 2 closer to home than it would be in a larger city. Earlier today you heard from WLWT News 5's Curtis Fuller. He's been at a church where family members have been gathering trying to make sense of this, which is impossible to do in a situation like this when you find 8 people dead spread out over 4 different crime scenes and young kids involved as well. We also heard from our investigative reporter Todd Dykes. He's out covering angles on this story as well. And from our night team, we've got WLWT News 5's Emily Wood, and she will bring us the latest. She is at this location that you're looking at right now as we are awaiting a news conference. Attorney General Mike DeWine, as well as investigators, will be talking to the media about what they know about this mass shooting in Pike County, Ohio. Piketon, again, a small area about 80 miles here from the Cincinnati area.
Now, from the very get-go, at first we were hearing that 7 people were involved. A few hours ago, found out that 8 people were killed in this shooting. All the while, we're wondering, was there an active shooter situation? We were told by the county sheriff out there, the Pike County Sheriff, that this is not an active shooter situation. However, no arrests have been made. Of course, that leads you to believe that possibly one of those dead could be the gunman. We have no confirmation on that right now. The investigation, as you can imagine, still in the very early stages here. Authorities are still trying to investigate, to try to figure out a motive, to try and figure out who exactly is involved in this. But as you can imagine, this is a big investigation that's going on. We're talking agents with the Attorney General's Bureau of Criminal Investigations out there. That's called BCI for short. They've been asked to step in and lead this investigation at the request of Sheriff Reeder. More than a dozen agents from BCI's Special Investigations Unit, the Crime Scene Unit, the Criminal Intelligence Unit, and Cyber Crimes Unit, all responding to the scene to try and figure out what led up to this shooting. Again, multiple shootings at multiple locations. All of this unfolding around 9 o'clock this morning.
We have the latest for you right now on WLWT.com as well as our WLWT app. Again, if you're just joining us, you're just walking in, turning the television on, we've interrupted regular programming for this breaking news story that we've been following for several hours now. Again, just to catch up on what's going on, as you can see on your screen, 8 people dead, 4 different locations. The number had been 7 for a long time, and then just about an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, the grim discovery of an 8th body. Attorney General Mike DeWine then alerting the media that we had 8 different victims, 4 different locations, and this again in a small area, the Piketon area, Pike County, Ohio, hitting this community extremely hard. Family members hearing about it through the media, not knowing where their loved ones are, showing up at this church, and then getting the tragic, terrible news that somehow their family connected with this mass shooting. Again, it appears that it's all one family. execution-style shootings. And again, the picture you're seeing here with the police officers at the ready is where they're going to be holding a news conference here shortly. State Attorney General Mike DeWine and investigators, and many of them, and several police agencies out working this case right now.
And you can imagine this is absolutely devastating for this family as they are finding out that a number of their family members, and we are hearing at least 2 teenagers involved in this shooting today, a total of 8 people dead. But all these victims are believed to be members of the same family. You can imagine as their family is finding out about this, they are shocked. Curtis Fuller was out there and is still out there at the scene. He was seeing a number of family members who, as you can imagine, very upset, distraught. They are asking for their privacy right now as they try to figure out what unfolded today, how this happened. And right now you're seeing State Attorney General for Ohio, Mike DeWine, walking in here. This is a news conference that is about to be underway. This involves many different agencies helping in this investigation, as this is such an extensive crime scene. We're talking 4 homes here in Pike County, in the small community of Piketon, Ohio. Again, that's about 80 miles east of Cincinnati, and they're just about ready to take the podium here. We have a team of reporters, Emily Wood here at the news conference, and as soon as they are ready to update us on this, of course, we'll bring it to you.
We mentioned earlier that Attorney General Mike DeWine has not addressed the media in a news conference, but he was on the radio a short time ago on WLW about 2 hours ago, and he mentioned even though this is not an active shooter situation, that he believes that this shooter is somewhere out on the loose, and they are serving multiple search warrants at the different scenes, and it appears that somebody's up at the podium. If we could take that audio, let's listen in.
West of the Georgetown post of the State Highway Patrol. We'll get started in about 2 minutes. The Highway Patrol is handling that barrier.
Well, at least you get the opportunity to listen in and be a part of the process like we are. This update coming from that gentleman there that we're going to start here. It's, what is it right now? It's 4:18, so at 4:20 straight up, it appears that they're going to hold that news conference. But we had talked about the multiple agencies and what teamwork that's going on out there, not only the county police force, the sheriffs, but also the local police department, the FBI in Cincinnati, also closely monitoring the situation. This all started at about a little after 8 o'clock this morning, when Pike County sheriffs requested state help immediately after they got word of a number of bodies being found. Again, it wasn't hard to determine for them immediately that these shootings, in their words, execution-style shootings.
And I think every person out there, you first of all hear 8 people dead, all from the same family, at least 2 of them teenagers, and then to hear the Attorney General you're seeing here, Mike DeWine, about to get started, as well as the county police out here.
First and foremost,
let's listen in.
I want to express all of our thoughts and prayers to everyone in Pike County today with the tragedy that fell upon our county. At 7:53 this morning, my dispatch center received a 911 call advising they needed deputies to the area of 4077 Union Hill Road, that there was 2 males in that residence. There was blood there and they were possibly deceased. My deputies responded. While they responded, they were flagged down on Union Hill Road. They were given 2 additional addresses of 4199 and 3122 Union Hill Road. My deputies also responded to those residents where they also found additional victims that were deceased. During the course of our initial investigation and my deputies arriving, we can confirm that there were 7 bodies found in those residences. We're still trying to identify all the persons and notify the next of kin. I can tell you that in this tragedy, 3 children survived. 1 being 4 days old, 6 months old, and 3 years old. I was contacted and immediately had the Attorney General's office contacted for support, where I've asked him to lead this investigation due to the fact that we have 3 crime scenes spreading over a difference of about 1.5 miles. We have identified the victims as being members of the Rhoden family. My thoughts and prayers goes out to them. During the course of the investigation today, we also received another 911 call from dispatch of a residence on Left Fork Road where there was a male that had possibly been deceased. My deputies responded to that residence where they identified a male that was deceased of what appeared to be a gunshot wound. BCI is actively working 4 crime scenes at this time. I've got assistance by not only my staff with the Attorney General's office, but also the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, Ross County Sheriff's Office, the Adams County Sheriff's Office. Here today also is the Pike County Prosecutor's Office, Pike County Children's Services, and of course the Pike County Coroner. At this time, I can confirm that we have 8 bodies in this county. All were adults except for 1 male juvenile. I want to urge anyone, any citizens that has any information concerning anything involving this horrible act to contact the Pike County Sheriff's Office, where we have BCI agents there. They're following up on every tip that comes in. Right now, we have no one in custody. I want to urge everyone to be under the understanding that there is a strong possibility that any individuals involved with this are armed and extremely dangerous. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to the Attorney General, Mike DeWine. Thank you.
Thanks, Sheriff. This is a horrible tragedy that has occurred here in Pike County. Each one of the victims appears to have been executed. Each one of the victims appears to be shot in the head. Let me just add a few additional things. When the sheriff asked the Attorney General's office, BCI, to become involved, we responded immediately. We now have over 30 individuals who are down here who work for BCI. We have 5 analysts, 5 cybercrime, 13 people who are working the 4 crime scenes, special investigation unit, 12, and we have 2 crimes against victims individuals who are working, all BCI agents. We would encourage the public to contact us, even if you think if you have just a little bit of something, not even sure if it's valuable. We urge you to contact us. You can contact the Pike County Sheriff's Office. You can also contact 1-800-BCI-OHIO. That's 1-800-BCI-OHIO. Every tip that comes in, we are running down, and we will continue to do that. I would anticipate that the crime scene will remain active for some time. I'm sure that our agents will be on the crime scenes, these 4 different crime scenes, all night, and it certainly could extend beyond that. I would stress that we're very early into this investigation. As the sheriff said, the individual or individuals who committed this crime obviously are dangerous. We believe that they are still at large. We do not know their location, but we would advise people of Pike County certainly not to panic, but certainly also to be careful. The family involved, we are advising the family members to be very careful and take particular caution. This really is a question of public safety, and particularly for any of the Roden family. Let me just again express my deepest sympathy to the family. This is just a horrible, horrible tragedy. I just got off the phone a minute ago to brief the governor. He was anxious to find out exactly what happened, and I gave him a briefing just several minutes before we came out here. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions that we can answer.
All of the victims have been identified as adults. Yes. All victims have been identified as adults except for one juvenile male.
Were these people known to you all in some fashion prior to today?
We have a small county. I am familiar with the Roden family.
And were they involved in any investigation of any kind?
We have people looking into that. I cannot confirm that.
And Sheriff, the 8 victims, the male found dead with gunshot wounds, do you not believe that that was suicide, or does this have been any sort of murder-suicide? This is an active, you're actively looking for a suicide.
I am still actively looking for a shooter. Now, I want to remind you that we are very early in this investigation. We are investigating 4 active crime scenes at this time. The Attorney General's office is investigating that. I'm providing the support for that, and other agencies are as well. This is very early. I cannot confirm that there is no one still on the loose that may be involved in this. If they are, they will be armed and dangerous. Okay? We're very early in this. We have multiple crime scenes, very horrific crime scene here. So I am not going to rule out the fact that we do not have someone or someones that's out armed and dangerous. I can't.
I'm curious, when you say a day, you're looking for possibly a day.
Sir, I just have so many crime scenes that I'm assuming, and I apologize. If there's someone involved and we haven't got them in a scene, which is we don't know yet because we're in the early stages of it, I am telling you that they're armed and dangerous if they're still at large.
Is the 8th person a member of the Roden family?
Yes. All of them.
All of them are.
Is there any idea about
None.
Back to the motive, you better understand that, please. I'm also curious, who flagged the deputies down this morning?
They're citizens that lived on the road, or someone that may have come up to the house or heard something at the house, whatever, I don't know. I'm not part of that investigation there. I know my deputies were flagged down and given other locations they checked out, and that's what they found. I believe the age, Major, 16-year-old male. I don't have that with me now. I don't have the ages. Again, we're in the early stages of this. I suspect that my office and BCI will be here throughout the night, possibly all day tomorrow. This is something that's very uncommon. This is something that doesn't happen every day. It's not something that you prepare for. It is something that we've called in additional help for. We're working together, and as information comes forward, we will provide that. But right now it's very limited. We wanted to address you, let you know what we do have, what we do know, and what we can confirm. Other than that, we cannot confirm anything else. They're actively investigating it, and we've get to that point. We will make sure that you're contacted, and we will brief you accordingly.
Sheriff, are all 3 of those residences in close proximity to one another, and then someone went literally house to house, where they have to execute people in one location, then drive to another one, then drive?
They're within miles apart. They are not, all of them are not door to door to each other.
Is there anything you can tell us about the Roden family in terms of their past activities?
They're members of my community. My heart goes out to them. I'm not going to speak about the Rodens. I'm sure that they are grieving. They're going through a hard time right now, and I'm going to respect that. We are taking every precaution, my staff along with other staff from Ross County, Jackson County, Adams County, agents to go and find other family members, check on them, make contact with them. We are doing everything in our power to reach out to the Rodens. If they need anything, they can contact my office. They can go to my office. They can come to the Piketon Police Department. We will do what we can, everything we can for them.
There's no question about weapons. Did you recover any weapons?
Sir, I'm not in the crime scene.
Okay. Mike, would that be something you could
No, I can't address it because it's an active crime scene. Our people are right there now, and we're not going to interfere with what they're doing. This is what they do every single day. Don't know that.
Sheriff, how big is the crime scene area? How many miles does this stretch across, would you say, the perimeter of the Valley?
From the first location to the last location reported, within 30 miles.
30?
30.
Knowing what you know and what you don't know at this point, and I know you want all your citizens to be alert, call, what have you, but is this, at this point, in this surrounding community, a Friday night where those people should all lock their doors and go to work?
I would, under the circumstances.
Schools aren't really in session anymore, but any kind of lockdowns that are happening right now?
There was a lockdown earlier.
We'll have to see what
See.
the results are. We're actively working it, and we'll be out all night.
Could you
We'll
address
see.
quickly the notion that there was a lockout, then it was lifted, and then I spoke to a lieutenant from a neighboring county who was not aware of an active search for a shooter. Indications earlier were that there might not have been, but now it seems as though there are. I mean, there was confusion obviously on our part. What would you say to those who are?
I think there were some things reported to the media that did not come from my office, my staff, nor the Attorney General's office, the folks that's actively working this investigation. Okay, so I feel that maybe somebody provided you information that was inaccurate. That's why me and the Attorney General are providing you with the accurate information that we have. When we have anything else, we will report it. Thank you.
Sheriff, this is 8 victims of the Roden family, but you said it's crime can stretch 30 miles. Would that indicate for you that someone's targeting your family particularly?
I would suspect.
The question there is, are there any rodents being taken into protective custody of any kind, or?
I have units working on that and working with the Roden family.
The babies and the 3-year-old, all of the transport.
To my knowledge, they were all injured.
Who are they with?
The right people. I can't tell you the people they're with, but they're with
Yeah.
people that's taking good care of them.
As this progresses, can you possibly set up scheduled updates through somebody in your office or the media? Because I'm sure there will be clamoring for information, and if indeed we can have regularly scheduled
We will make sure that we do that. When we get new information, particularly, and we'll set that up. Set that up through our office.
I suspect so.
Yeah.
Survivors from those homes?
Yes.
That's right. I mean, I think what makes this particularly grisly is the fact that you have these children involved who obviously were there when the executions took place. I don't know that.
Is there any way to tell what time this happened and if the execution hours in the middle of the night, do you have a sense of that?
Well, the indication would be that it was when people were in bed. So the time frame will obviously come later. Well, Sheriff went through that, I think. Sheriff, you want to go through the first?
I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know how that citizen knew.
I can't.
I guess, fine, last thing I can think of, to clarify, so for those who are wondering, again, hearing different stories throughout the day, is it the notion that these crime scenes are so ugly and devastating and horrific that you're not able to tell necessarily if there is someone at large currently, maybe that person among those who died?
Okay,
but you just don't know?
well, let me take that, Sheriff. If I'm wrong, or Ben, you can jump over here. Ben is leading the investigation. Ben Suver. If we got any questions. The preliminary determination has been made that none of the 8 individuals committed suicide. Again, we only got into we've got one house that was an outlier in the sense of time. but the indication is that none of them committed suicide. So obviously, that we have one person. I wouldn't call him an active shooter, but you have one person who is armed and dangerous, and there may be more than. And maybe two, there may be three. We just don't know at this point. How many people we're really talking about at all.
Is there a chance that, with these homes being spread out so far, if someone that was targeted initially, you would have to know all of where the family members live?
Well,
Is there a chance that
we're not going to speculate on that. We do have two houses, Ben, that are fairly close, Sheriff, right? Either one of you can. You want to give them the location?
They're in walking distance.
you gotta
Two
get
of the locations are within walking distance of each other. Another one is maybe a mile or more away, and then the fourth one is more like 10 minutes away.
That'd be the fourth one that was found. Right. Yeah. Anybody else? We will try to keep you updated as we know more. And it would appear that all of them were shot in the head. It would appear that all of them were shot in the head. It would appear also that it occurred during the night. We have victims who are in bed. I'll tell you whether they're all in bed or not.
Not all of them were in bed.
Children, yeah. This is just, it's heartbreaking. The one mom apparently was killed in her bed with the 4-day-old right there. It's just, it's just hard to believe. I can't do that yet. I don't want to tell you something that after the investigation we come up with something different. So. We could certainly update you tonight whether it is worthy of us taking your time. But we are going to be available. Dan, do you want to? Where's Dan? You got anything on that you want to about how we're going to do this?
You've painted a rather frightening picture.
Well, it is frightening.
So an update,
Yeah. Again, let me again give the hotline. 855 BCI Ohio, or the sheriff's office. Either one. It'll go to the same place, and we're working it together. Yeah, there was a press release that went out. We were not at the time that press release went out. I don't believe we were able to tell you that none of those individuals committed suicide. Now that's what we feel. Understand, 4 separate crime scenes, and the last crime scene only becomes active for us very, very late in the day. So, okay,
Very difficult. I would like to stress to the citizens that I've got Ross County, Jackson County, Adams County, other county sheriffs that have their staff available to me because we are going to be out. We are out in full service. We've got my entire staff out. Once they get fatigued, tired, and I need replacements, other sheriffs are going to provide that to me. Any of my county citizens have any information, contact our office. Anything suspicious, contact our office. We will be out. We will be in full force, and we will be here until the investigation is complete.
thank you all very much.
Well, just a nightmare scenario. If you're in law enforcement, this is the day, the moment that you pray, that you hope will never happen, especially in a small community like this where the bonds are tight and the community is so close. Again, if you're just joining us, live news conference there out of Pike County, about 80 miles east of Cincinnati, confirming once again 4 crime scenes 8 victims in all of them shot in the head, execution style. You heard Attorney General Mike DeWine just say they do not believe that any of the victims committed suicide. So because of that determination, they believe that there is a shooter or shooters out there somewhere. No one is in custody right now, and you heard the sheriff there in Pike County say because of that, public safety, a major concern tonight in that area. And when a reporter asked the question, should people in that community stay indoors and keep their windows and their doors shut, he said, quote, I would. And of course, from that news conference, Cherie, we're learning more and more about the victims and this family
Right.
involved.
The Attorney General calling this just a horrible tragedy, as you mentioned, saying the victims all executed, shot in the head today. And this happening in the overnight hours into the early morning. And we are learning more about the victims right now. We know all of these victims. 7 of them are adults. 1 is a teenager, a 16-year-old boy, all members of the Roden family. There are, and this I think is what you could tell the Attorney General and the sheriff out there and all of their detectives and sheriff's deputies struggling with, that there are survivors and they are very young. We're talking 3 children, 1 as young as 4 days old, a 6-month-old baby, and a 3-year-old. And when the reporters were asking, were all of them asleep at the time, they said no, leading you to believe that possibly the 3-year-old was up and wandering around. We know that the baby, the 4-day-old baby, was found with the mother, apparently in bed with the mother at the time. So again, the Sheriff's Department saying that this is the Roden family. Their hearts and prayers go out to the Roden family tonight, and they are concerned for their safety, saying trying to get a hold of any members of this family because they believe whoever this gunman or gunmen, whoever they are, they were trying to possibly wipe out this entire family.
And you heard some of the teamwork going on. Several county sheriffs now working together, making all of the resources available. We have people from the local level all the way up to the federal level involved in this investigation. A hotline number was given out. If you're watching right now and you hear anything through the rumor mill, or you saw anything firsthand or heard anything firsthand, 855-BCI Ohio. Again, 855 BCI Ohio, or you can call the Pike County Sheriff's Office, all of them working together, all of those calls being dumped into the same area.
All right, so people in this small community being told to be on alert tonight. It's a Friday night. When they were asked, should you lock your doors? Should you be concerned? They said, right now, I would. And this includes the surrounding counties as well from this area in Pike County. We're going to have much more on WLWT News 5 tonight starting at 5 o'clock. Updates anytime on our website, WLWT.com. We're going to take a short break. We'll see you back here at 5 o'clock.